I hate that this camera's always crooked. I know that probably like bothers y'all. Yo, like legit, I see somebody in a DeLorean, y'all. This man got a DeLorean. Wow. Wow. The doors even go up on it. That's pretty cool. I'm just waiting for a few people to come in. Because on the last live stream, it was something that I really wanted to talk about, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be one video. I would have much rather have his own video. At least it start off his own video. You know what I mean? So I definitely wanted to bring this one up rather than keep the other one going. 5 people here so far. So just a little intro to it. So of course, we're all excited about Keldon Johnson getting playing time last game. And one thing that we've said about Pop, which he's infamous for, and we used to not have a big problem with it only because we had so many great veterans that, you know, if a role player does screw up, you're like, yeah, take him out of the game, whatever. But I think now we're at a point where now I think we're at the point where we can't afford to not play guys. Like, we can't afford to just let guys not play, basically. Like, I think that back in the day, you know, we had so much consistency, not only with the coaching staff, but we had consistency with the players, which helped the coaching staff. And we were able to, you know, plug and play. Like, it didn't matter who was out there, because for the most part, you probably have Manu out there at some point, or you have Tony Parker out there all game. You either got Timmy, Tony, or Manu out there all game long. So you could manage to not necessarily have the young guys play to the best of their ability some nights. But I think now we're at a point where I don't understand certain people getting yanked out. Like, I don't understand it. I know that Duncan yanked out Eubanks. I didn't really understand that, but it was very Pop-esque, where Eubanks had a big play, a big block thereafter, didn't like him doing. Which I know that for the long run, in the long run, that makes those players better. But at the same time, it's not a guarantee that we have those players the next year or the year after. And I know that they're not selfish like that. Spurs ain't gonna think like that. Spurs are thinking, I want to make you the best player possible while you're on the team right now. So I understand that. They're not thinking about, you know, if this guy's gonna stay or not, and we're probably not even gonna have him this year, or are we even gonna sign him? They're not thinking that far ahead. They're like, look, you're here. We want you to be the best. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But I think right now, I think it's about just understanding what you want right now, what the franchise wants right now. Because do we want to compete and try to make it to the playoffs right now? Or do we want to just focus on the long term, or focus on, you know, the future? Because at this point, if Keldon Johnson, because in this last game, Keldon Johnson got yanked after, I think, missing a defensive rotation or something like that. He got yanked. Now, are we at the point where when you miss a, you know, when these young players miss a defensive rotation, that they get yanked out of the game? Because doing that, to me, says we're more focused on you understanding what just happened and you coming back stronger next year. Or are we in a position where we're thinking we got to do everything necessary to make the playoffs right now? Because here's my thing. Keldon Johnson is a very good talent, and he needs to play. And he got 15 minutes last game, so that's great. All right, so I'm not taking that away from anybody. But at the same time, we yank these young players for small inconsistencies. Like, missing a rotation wasn't necessarily a mistake. That's just straight up not knowing the offense yet, you know? But then at the same time, we have veterans in there that make little small mistakes all game long that accumulates us into a loss. Like, they'll make little mistakes all game long, like fundamental mistakes, but they stay in the game. And I already explained why I think that DeMar DeRozan never gets he never gets set down anymore. because earlier this season, what Pop saw when he did sit him. So I understand that, but at the same time, it's like we will keep veterans in there that make little tiny mistakes all game long. Now, sure enough, they probably know how to finish a game better than the young guys because they've been in more situations, more situational basketball. Just like Tim Duncan said that DJ needs experience with situational basketball, situational experience. That's fine. I understand that, but I'm just confused with certain stuff. I'm confused with what you want out of these players right now. Like I just get kind of confused. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm not saying, oh my God, this is the end of the world that we sit young guys. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that I need to know, or at least I want to understand what is it that our coaching staff wants. Because there's small little inconsistencies all game long. Like real talk. We see inconsistencies all game long from certain guys. Where it's like, wow, you didn't box out there. Wow, you swiped at the ball instead of contesting. Oh, wow, you were late on that. You were late on that rotation. But like, it happens all the time. Now they run the offense correctly for the most part, but it's a lot of things where it's like, yo, that was ugly. You passed up a shot when you should have took it. You know, I don't know. You traveled. You turned the ball over. You know, you fumbled the ball out of bounds. Like, it happens all the time with the vets. So I just don't understand how the vets have all these little inconsistencies and it's cool. And then you have a player who has a minimal he messes up once and then he's out of the game. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I understand to the extent what the coaching staff wants to do. I understand to an extent, why they make the decisions they make. But then it gets to a point where I'm like, oh, hold on, man. Hold on. So you're going to tell me that this guy needs to sit, this young guy needs to sit, but the vet screwed up? To me, I think it's a bigger deal if your vet screws up than your young guy. That's just me. Just to be honest, I think that DeMar DeRozan should get sat down when he gets fouled and stays on the ground for too long and not gets back on defense. I think he should get yanked out then when he does stuff like that. But hey, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. I understand that these stars on this team they're not Tim Duncan. All right. I know Tim Duncan would take a lot of heat, but Tim Duncan didn't have a lot of inconsistencies either. He was always in the game. His mind was always in the game. I remember a few games. Tim Duncan had some bad games here and there, but he was always in it. He was always in it to win it. So, I don't know. IDK. But let's just hope that Keldon Johnson continues to get his minutes, because little mistakes is not a big deal when it's a guy like that. Because Keldon Johnson, any little mistake he makes, he's going to make up for it in a big way. And I really do believe that. Dude is really good. And he plays with a certain level of maturity too. It's a lot of maturity with him when he plays. He doesn't do too much. He manages to stay in his own realm. There's one thing I'm afraid of when it comes to Keldon Johnson. Just one. And other than this, I'm cool. Like I'm clean selling when it comes to him. One thing that I'm a little afraid of with Keldon Johnson is his what's the word? Not his peak, but his ceiling. Like I'm a little worried about his ceiling. Like I see the way that he plays, and I could see him possibly being a star, maybe. I don't know, but it's like the way that he plays, like his play style is like, catch and shoot, drive to the basket, good defense. It's kind of tough to tell whether or not he's going to end up being a phenomenal two-way player, because I don't see him create his own shot a lot of times. So I don't know if he's going to be a phenomenal two-way player or just like a really good role player, like a not like a Tony Allen, because he can shoot better than Tony Allen, but like who's another guy? I guess I could say DeMarre Carroll at some point. I mean, he's gonna be better than DeMarre Carroll, but I don't know. I hope you guys know what I'm saying. I hope I don't sound like crazy. It's like I can't really tell where his ceiling is at. You know, kind of like when people can tell, like, and they still can't tell where Klay Thompson's ceiling is. Like, we can't. Some people argue over time, like, is Klay Thompson a superstar? Is he even a star? But then he shoots so well, and he's a good defender. It's tough. You know, same thing with Jimmy Butler. It's like, is he a superstar? I mean, we all agree that he's a bad mother effer, but is he a superstar? Or is he just a star? Like, I don't know. And I think it's going to be like that with Keldon. Like, I can't tell. I can't tell if he's going to be a star. I can't tell if he's going to be a role player. I can't tell. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, I do think that we got somebody worthwhile of that Kawhi pick. So I'm excited about that. And he's another two-way player. So who knows? Who knows? And to be fair, he looks better right now than Kawhi did when Kawhi first started with us. So maybe that's a thing right there. Now, he doesn't have necessarily the physical stature of Kawhi, so that helped propel Kawhi's ceiling too. When you saw how his body type was, that kind of brought him up a notch too, knowing what he could become. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Keldon Johnson, don't get me wrong, he got a nice frame. He got a really nice frame. It's just tough. It's just one of those things where it's tough to tell. It's hard to tell. I'm impressed by him defensively, for sure. Defensively, he's amazing. Offensively, he's all right. He's okay. I'm still waiting for all those drives that he does where he goes straight into the chest of you. I'm still waiting for that to not work yet, but I guess he got such great touch around the rim, so it works almost every damn time. Like, it's kind of impressive, if I'm being real. It's kind of impressive, because you don't see that often, where you can just go into the chest of a guy in the NBA, and, you know, without calls too. He don't really get a lot of calls, but he can go in the chest of anybody, and it turns out pretty good for him. Rarely turns out bad. Ugh. Sorry, I'm trying to get out of this. But yeah, let me see. I'm gonna look at a few of these, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out. The refs don't like DeRozan. The refs don't like DeRozan, and if I'm being completely honest with myself and you guys, I think it's justified. Refs not liking DeRozan is very justified. I wouldn't like him either. Thoughts? Brent Forbes, since starting for Pop, hasn't drawn a charge once. Thoughts? Really? That's a weird stat. Really? Brent Forbes hasn't drawn a charge? Well, I mean, he's so little. Did he do that last year? Ever? That's weird. I mean, I don't want to say it's not the effort. Maybe he's just not in a lot of positions to do it, but then he's so small. I mean, he could injure himself. I don't know. They know how to finish, but they won't do it. I feel like the young guys are more close to the style of players we want. On the other hand, the vets make us go crazy because they lack a lot of things. Yeah, I think like I said that the Spurs were in an identity crisis. I said that before, and I say that again. I said it. I've been saying it since last season that we were in identity crisis, that we didn't have an identity. And the only time that we felt like we had a true identity is when we played on the strengths of, when we had Bertans, we played on the strengths of Bertans, Jakob, Derek White, and those guys, because they play so tough and they play gritty, and they're willing to get dirty, and they're willing to get charges, and go for blocks, and get physical. Like, they're willing to do that. So it's like on one end you have this identity that's just kind of lurking underneath the surface, where it's like, this is a gritty team. This team can get nasty. This team can get gross. We don't care. We coming at you. And then we have another side of the team that's mid-range shots and pretty fadeaways, and it's just not helping our identity. It's nothing wrong with fadeaways. Don't get me wrong, but it is a problem when it's like the only thing you do. Now, DeMar DeRozan, I think that he fits the mold for the identity that we can have when we tell him to go full steam to the basket. Like, I think that he's pretty damn good at that. That's probably the best thing he does. I know a lot of people says mid-range, but when he first started his career, he was a driving type of guy. So yeah, I just think that overall, the best thing that the thing that we do well, we don't go at as often as we could, because our identity is just all the way off. You see, on Keldon, dudes bounce off him all the time. It is Kawhi-esque type physicality. He has to work on his shot creation. Dude is only 20. Kawhi was he was at San Diego the same age. Oh, okay. Yeah, he does have to work on his shot creating, but he'll do it. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I just know that, like, I know that just for me watching him, I'm like, it's hard to tell what your ceiling is. But if you're this good now, your ceiling probably is higher. But it's just hard to tell. He has one of those playing styles where he doesn't. It's nothing that Keldon Johnson does where I say, oh snap! Like, it's none of those plays where it's like, damn, where'd that come from? Like, for instance, Lonnie Walker. Every game, if he has the ball enough, every game you're gonna see something where you're like, oh crap, like that was out of nowhere. Like the dunk last night or the other night, we were like, oh shit, like that was out of nowhere. I mean, that was a nasty dunk. So that's the type of stuff where I'm like, ooh, you're gonna see flashes of what he can become. It's like, oh yeah, his ceiling's high. He can create his own shot. His ceiling is super high. Keldon's one of those guys where he's a really great fit, and he's a really good player, and I like his game. It's just hard to tell, is he gonna manifest that into other aspects as well? Like, is he gonna be able to create his own shot? Is he gonna be able to be a go-to scorer? Because that's what it would take to be a star. So it's like, it's hard for me to tell what he's gonna be. Why the announcers go for other teams? Should they go for either team? Wait, what? Why the announcers go for the other team? Should they go for either team? I don't know what you mean. I'm confused about what exactly are we doing, to be honest. Oh yeah, DeRozan can live on the paint, but at the same time, that makes him go crazy and toss out. Yeah. He doesn't have a nice. He don't know how to control himself. When he gets angry, man, he looks uncontrolled. Like, we need to just yank him when he gets too angry, because his game just suffers, man. It just suffers. It just looks like somebody that's getting way too aggressive, to the point where I'm like, dude, you're gonna get a tech, you're gonna get an offensive foul. Like, you need to calm down. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played, basketball when you were younger, like play with your friends or something. It reminded me, like, when I was little and I'm playing with my older brother or something, I get angry, and then I just get uncontrollable and just start, flailing my arms and trying to, it's just too much. It's like, calm down. Lonnie Walker's special. Yeah, he will come into his own. Yeah, Lonnie Walker's gonna be something special. Lonnie Walker's Dwayne Wade type, but Pop has White and Patty handling that ball on the second team. I don't understand. He needs the ball in his hands. Yeah. White and Patty's done a great job with the ball, but I understand. What really should happen is White starts and Lonnie Walker runs the second unit. That's really what should happen. Hey Clan, what do you think about Patty being a lot less vocal and expressive during games like he was in the past? That leadership energy he used to bring on the floor and from the bench is gone. I don't see that. I think he's still pretty verbal. Yeah, he's still pretty verbal, especially on the bench. I don't know. I mean, he had to be. I guess it's like this too, man. He had to be more vocal last year, because that's where we really had a brand new team, like new team. This year is the second year with DeMar, second year with Jakob. I don't know how many years with Rudy now. Is it 3 or 4 with Rudy? Um, so it's and Derek White came into his own. This is the second year Derek White getting significant playing time. So I don't think that he's really, and this is the second or third year. Well, second year Bryn Forbes basically got good minutes. So I don't think he has to really take on that role as much as he did as far as a on court leader, because they know the off. I mean, it's not much he can really say at this point. And then you got a new coaching staff, so it's a lot of stuff going on at once. And maybe Patty's like taking a back seat to Timmy as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, but I think he's still a leader off the court and on the bench. As far as on the court, I mean, he had to be last year. Like there was no and buts or ifs about it. Like he had to. Like there was nothing else that that was the most important role we had for him is be that guy. And honestly, I know a lot of people started saying last season, trade Patty, trade Patty. I guess his game suffered a little bit from it. Maybe a lot of the energy he was exerting on players, hurt his game a little bit. I don't know. But this season, I think he's doing fine. I think he's still a leader. But the role that he took as a vocal leader, maybe that took a back seat because of the guys, the new guys. So, I mean, the guys that's been on the team already. Somebody said I saw him yelling players from the bench alongside with Timmy. Yeah, see, I seen it too. We need a bully leader on the team. True. Keldon can be a bully. I don't know about a leader yet, but he can be a bully. I don't like the NBA. NBA is crazy sometimes. All right, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get off. I appreciate everybody coming through. If you haven't, please go join the Spurs group chat. We're always in there. And by the way, I'm definitely doing giveaways on it like soon. So I'm gonna start doing that. You can enter it once you'll see how to enter it once you go like into the chat. But you go to the Flick Sports app. Okay, so Flick Sports app. You can find it Apple. You can find it at Google Store. So once you get the Flick Sports app or Flick Chat, I think that's what it's called, Flick Chat. Once you get that, type in Spurs Chat, and you'll find us right there. Or you could easily just go to Instagram, go to Spurs Wave, go to the bio, click the link in the bio at Spurs Wave on Instagram. Boom, right there. You go to it, download the app, go straight into there, and we talk Spurs basketball. But I'm definitely gonna do some giveaways soon. Once I get enough people to send, it's something on there called Chotes and Pixels. Once I get enough people to send them, then I'm gonna go ahead and do a little giveaway. All right, guys. I'll get with you later. I appreciate everybody coming through. Until next time, deuces.